Hi, Daniel Hayes here, video blog number 46. Someone asked me a question yesterday, I'll try and answer it. Someone said to me, do we have farm areas? And we don't have farm areas. And I'll tell you why we don't have farm areas. Now, back when I was selling, I used to have a farm area of Belmont. Now, if anybody came into that farm area from the office, I'd attack them with a meat cleaver, or at the very least, that they would end up with a limp basically for the rest of their life. I mean, I was that possessive about my farm area, it was ridiculous. However, I did have about a 35% market share, a personal market share of that farm area, so I used to work it really well. But what I did was, as a business owner, I've decided not to have farm areas, and I'll tell you why. Because Highton, if I gave 2 or 3 people a share of Highton, it would mean the other 5 or 6 people would miss out on Highton. 6,000 homes in Highton, so certainly a lot of market share. So no one has any particular area. However, we have a thing called common courtesy, and if people do specifically target an area consistently, then other people stay out of it. And we run a book, and basically the rule is in our office that you can't drop an area within a week. So if someone drops it 1 week, then you can drop it the next week. And that's sort of how it works. Look, the reality is Geelong's a massive area, and so, you know, the guys again are doing it their way, and so yeah, we don't have farm areas. Another reason we don't have farm areas is because I believe it can breed lazy agents. And look, I think ultimately the scoreboard doesn't lie each month, and you know, I know some of the very best agents have farm areas, and I'm not knocking that. I'm not here saying that farm areas are good or bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the way I do it. But some of my experience has been that when I have an agent that wants a particular suburb or half of a suburb, what they want to do is get all the call-ins from that area, and sometimes they don't want to work for it. So we have a rule. And the rule is that, you know, irrespective of where the phone call comes from, if they don't ask to any specific person, we call that a generic, and that means it goes in the book, and that means that it gets distributed. All the agents take it in turn, so it'll go through John, Ray, Michelle. It goes just full cycle, and they get the call in. As a business owner, I take 10 or 15% off the top of that, and that funds all the marketing material. So the guys are very comfortable with that. I spend a lot of money on marketing the business, and you know, I see my job as the business owner is to get those generic appraisals in. Now on Tuesday we had 7 generics in one day. This week we've probably had somewhere, I haven't looked at the book, but I'd say somewhere between 15 to 20 market appraisals, generics, and some of those will be converted into listings. So, you know, just a little bit of a different slant on it. And do the agents butt heads? No, they don't. Again, common courtesy, and you know, the guys know that I run a very fair platform. I don't do bitchiness, and the guys can work it out. And oftenly when people will come to me with a problem, I'll say to them, you sort it out yourself. If they can't, then I'll step in. Rarely is there any problems at all. Generally, when there's a new staff member on board, there can be a couple of issues, but they're generally ironed out straight away. So you know, that's just if someone asked me that question. And you know, again, it's common courtesy. It's respecting your fellow salespeople. My guys aren't, in a way, competing against each other out there. We are working together as a team. It's a massive market. It's an absolute massive market in Geelong. And I'll finish on this. You know, people in my team, or some people used to say to me, Danny, you don't want to build your team too big. There's only so much of the pie to go around. Well, it's a massive pie of $25 million. So I don't buy that bullshit either. You know, so I build the team how I see fit, and I believe success breeds success. You know, you surround yourself with the best people. Even if you're an average performer, you will become better. You know, I don't think that stuff's rocket science. That's the video blog for today.